25th of November 2023. This is episode 189 of This and That and What the Fuck Else. I have received many messages about where is Braaiday. I'm sorry. I just don't have enough time in the day anymore. And I wanted to do it because it's become a tradition. But let's not cry about that. We make Saturday as Braaiday. And let's go. And I'm going to start with this winter scenes from Russia. I'm sitting here at 38 degrees C, and in Russia it is the opposite. Kolomna, a historical city in Moscow region, will delight history buffs with its ancient beauty and its spirituality. Like Moscow, Kolomna was founded in the 12th century and today is regarded as the spiritual capital of the Moscow suburbs. The compact city is located 115 kilometers from the capital and is home to about 140,000 people. Enjoy! Wow, it looks cold there, but it's beautiful. And you must forgive me today, I'm going to be quite quick. There are certain of the news clips that I'm only going to read a small portion. You must stop the video if you want to read the whole clip. And I want to start off with this one, and this is a little bit of, what can I say? Maybe it's bragging or what. I found this video. Somebody gave me a link to a video, and when I clicked on the video, I found this on the screen. This video was inspired by Skidmarks, aka Briekmerke. I was actually quite chuffed when I saw that. And then someone else sent me another link to another video that was published by a guy talking about security and all of those things. And I find this. Commentators wat balans gee. Twee baie goeie kommentators wat menings vorm. Albei is goed ingelig en praat net oor goed waarvan hulle weet. Hulle is meningvormers, maar nie leiers nie. 'n Leier is iemand wat fisies uitgaan en iets doen om 'n verskil te maak. And I have to agree with him. I have got no aspirations or dreams of being a leader of any movement or what. I'm too old for that. And it will be unfair. But the fact of the matter is, the people need to hear the truth. And I am ashamed to see that there are so few commentators that really has the balls to call a spade a spade. And in my case, I call the thing a fucking bulldozer. But there it says. I want you to look at this. I can't read too much out of it for the simple reason that it is dangerous for the channel to do it. But look at this. I suggest you stop the video and look at all the content there. And it was Tim Noakes that tweeted this. But I don't understand. If the snakebite she wished to mandate for all in the country was, and you can read it yourself, why would she not want to take it? Just doesn't make sense. Or am I too stupid? Now, I was looking for the video clip. There's a video clip that appeared about 2-3 weeks ago of Ace Magashulu, in which he said himself that they got instructions from the ANC management not to take the snakebite. Let that sink in. And then we get to drugs. And this is something that makes me fucking angry. This is what that Americans do. The United Snakes of America is a global terrorist, and they are a fucking global crime network. That is what they are. Listen to this. Opium cultivation in Afghanistan has all but stopped, falling 95% since the Taliban, under UN sanctions for extremism, outlawed poppy production last year, the UN Office on Drugs and Crime said. Opium cultivation fell across all parts of the country from 233,000 hectares to just 10,800 hectares in 2023. The decrease has led to a corresponding 95% drop in the supply of opium, from 6,200 tons in 2022 to just 333 tons in 2023, a new research brief reads. The Taliban pledged to wipe out the poppy cultivation after they came to power in August 2021 and imposed a ban on April 2022. Revenues from poppy harvesting by Afghan farmers fell by more than $1 billion to $110 million this year. UN envoy for Afghanistan said nearly 80% of the Afghan population depend on agriculture. This means that Afghanistan needs more investment to provide farmers with opportunities away from opium. Now, we know for a fact that the CIA is involved in this type of shit, and they are doing the same in South America, Colombia, everywhere. And there it's about cocaine. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. And then they get to ESKOM. I'm not going to discuss it too much. Just look at this schedule. Now, those that is highlighted in the red is 4-hour sessions. What you need to think about. This is on the Black Friday weekend, where the retailers are supposed to gather some boost in their sales. And what do they get from the government? Yes, the ANC government is in control of this cuck. What do they get? Load shedding like this, first of all. Secondly, their Christmas stocks is lying on a boat in front of the harbour. It might be here for Easter. This is what the ANC is doing to South Africa. Open it. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Don't listen to these politicians. They all talking shit. And Malema is one that he is all over the place, propagating destruction and disaster. Nothing else. Nothing positive from him. Nothing. Why? Because he's a XXX tool. And then look at this. There's a faction in the population with this fucking story of all the farms must belong to the state. Look what happened here. This government, this was a government farm. As you will see, nothing left. But the ANC wants to take more farms to destroy the same way. Look what that house looks like. Look here, what the kitchen looks like. Look here. This is what they do. This is what they do. They get these perfect working farms in top condition, and they fuck it up to this in a matter of months. That's how they fucked up Zebedila. That's how they fucked up the tea plantations in near Tsanin. This is what they do. They cannot help themselves. This is in their nature, to destroy and to destruct. And then we get this intellectual giant. New state-owned petroleum company for South Africa. Here is what to expect. Now, I'm not going to go through all the things there. The main gist of it is they want to have control over that gas and oil fields on the west coast because they can see it as a looter's paradise. You think they stole a lot from ESKOM? Imagine what they're going to steal from this. And then we go to the Gaza, and this is a contribution in a discussion forum. British gas exploration rights to Gaza marine gas field expire in 2024. After this, Gaza could grant rights to Russia, hence the Gaza war. Take note of that. And then we get that Netanyahu. Israel to maintain security control in Gaza indefinitely after the war. Israel will have security responsibilities over Gaza Strip for some time after its war against Hamas ends. And the commentator says, in other words, Israel will never leave Gaza. And we now know that that is an occupation. They want to occupy the Palestinian land, Gaza, and they want it for the gas. And then we have this year. New York Times labels a 1948 Nakba as a migration, a new low for Western MSM. The Nakba was not even close to a simple migration. By the end of 1948, 2/3 of the Palestinian population were exiled, militias killing some 13,000 Palestinians. 530 Palestinian villages were destroyed, with around 750,000 Palestinians forced to flee as the State of Israel was declared. Now, this reminds me of the following joke. This German soldier during World War II raped a French woman, and as he tidied himself up, he looked at her and said, in 9 months' time you will have a son. You may call him Hans if you like. And she looked at him and she said, in 4 days' time you will have a rash. You can call it measles if you like. Let that sink in. And then more. James Burnham said that the liberalism was the ideology of Western suicide. It robs a civilization of the will to protect its identity, believing that all particularities can be resolved through the mediation at objective institutions. And that is exactly what is being done to Europe, America, and they tried it here in South Africa, but in South Africa the plan is fucking not working because they're sitting here with low IQ executors that they struggle. And then more. What is clear is that South Africa has no principled approach towards these global conflicts. It professes to want to mediate, but it picks and chooses when and which of its principles apply. That is so true, and it was a tweet from my friend Darby. And to brighten your day, the first ever pride flag raised in Gaza. Atzmoni, who is a member of the El community, want to send a message of hope to the people of Gaza living under Hamas brutality. His intention was to raise the first pride flag in Gaza as a call for peace and freedom. What the fuck is that? Another member of the Vaseline gang. And then we get more. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can stop it if you want to read all of that. Cyril says, we urge the international community to agree on urgent and concrete actions to end the suffering in Gaza and establish a path towards a just and peaceful resolution of this conflict. Now you can stop it and read the rest. What is more interesting for me is Vusi Sambo's response. This is a comprehensive 7-point plan. Honorable President, many lives will be spared if Israel and Palestine can stick to your script. I don't want to get carried away, but it would be puzzling if you don't win the 2023 Nobel Prize together with the equally majestic comrade Dr. Minister Naledi Pandor. Now, can we also draft a near similar plan to solve South Africa's multitude of domestic problems? One of which is the fact that we have the second highest murder rate in the world. 75 people are being murdered every day, with only 1 in 10 cases resulting in a successful prosecution. I agree 100% with Vusi. And then we get this hilarious bit. Gerardo Diana calls for immediate suspension of the imports of all citrus from South Africa. The chairman of Consorcio Arancia Rosa de Sicilia is calling for the immediate suspension of imports from South Africa. What did you expect? The ANC taking that absolute hilarious action against Israel on diplomatic terms. Well, none of the other countries in the BRICS did it, and Cyril caught Malema in a trap. He made Malema put the motion in. Now what we see in the international papers is the EFF's motion did this and that and that and that. But stupid people must suffer. And then we get to this one, and I want you to listen carefully. Masculine Soul tweeted, "High testosterone males are a menace to governments. Independent, don't rely on handouts. Disagreeable, won't comply with bullshit, rules and regulations. Protective of loved ones, will do anything to secure their future. No wonder they are waging a hormonal war against us." Let that sink in, because that's the reality of our lives. And then, listen to this. Harold Wicks tweeted, "Mustn't stop wind projects. Generate hydrogen near the wind farms. Pipe it to add to the gas grid while waiting. To boost electricity grid capacity, battery storage could also smooth out fluctuations, making them less wild." Now, I can do a whole fucking skidmark on this one tweet. First of all, that hydrogen generation, they say that it's easy to do. My question is, these fuckers don't even have a connection to the grid that is capable of handling the capacity. Now he wants to build a fucking pipeline as well, with money that he gets where? And then, battery storage. So many articles about the absolute ecological disaster zone, any of these mining fields where the rare metals are being mined for the batteries. But these environmentalists don't listen to it. And the final nail in this fucker's coffin, not a single wind farm in the world has ever made a profit. And many has already now been decommissioned. Let that sink in. It's a money-making racket and a scam. And then we have this little bit of information. 5 best sentences. 1. You cannot legislate the poor into prosperity by legislating the wealthy out of prosperity. 2. What one person receives without working for, another person must work for without receiving. 3. The government cannot give to anybody anything that the government does not first take from somebody else. 4. You cannot multiply wealth by dividing it. 5. When half of the people get the idea that they do not have to work because the other half is going to take care of them, and when the other half gets the idea that it does no good to work because somebody else is going to get what they work for, that is the beginning of the end of any nation. Can you think of a reason for not sharing this? Think about this. And this is what this ANC and this militant blacks are trying to do, all of these steps. And then you get this disturbing piece. History. Adolf Hitler was financed by Wall Street, the US Federal Reserve, and the Bank of England. You must now stop and read the whole thing. Triple X has been playing us for a long, long time. And then we get to the memes. This one, for me, is the meme of the day. In these difficult times, some cuts may be necessary. And I agree. And then this meme, maybe the more sensitive souls will be shocked, but bite your tongue. The world is going to judge you no matter what you do. So, live your life the way you fucking want. Excellent advice. And then this one is just something to chuckle about. Sometimes you just have to relax and watch the shit goes by. And then we get to this one. South African ports. Port congestion bogs down South Africa's economy. Port congestion marked by swarms of anchored ships is a distant pandemic memory in most global trade hubs. But in South Africa, it's the news of the day. Because it seems to me these low IQ cadres, they think the more ships are lying in front of the harbours that anchor, that is indicators of how well the economy is doing. And then we get this one. Ramaphosa talks tough on Transnet incompetence as port nightmare rages on. Cyril Ramaphosa vowed that Transnet would shed itself of the incompetence and address the major problems. If Transnet shed itself of incompetence, there's going to be very, very, very few people left in Transnet. But I've done Skidmarks. The collapse of the ports is fucking serious because it affects the producers and it affects the traders that import. The producers can't export, the traders can't import. But this is what the ANC wants, and this is what Malema is after: total collapse of the economy. That's what they want. And then we get this from Pepe Escobar. I like this guy a lot. South Africa should be very careful and be prepared for Al-Qaeda, MI6, terra false flags, weather calamity, human rights abuse charges, collapse of the rand, lawfare, Atlanticist apoplexy, sabotage of energy infrastructure, you name it. And we better take note of what he is saying. And then we get to this one, and I'm not going to read the whole document, you can stop it and read it. I just want to tell you this. Bilateral loan agreements with the World Bank, KfW and AFDB to support South Africa's just energy transition. This is from National Treasury, and if you look at the billions involved, you will puke. And take note, just energy transition is just a fucking scam to steal, because we are sending our coal to Germany so that they can burn cheap coal for energy, while these dumb cadres are pushing us to use renewables, which is fucking expensive, unreliable, but there is a lot of opportunity for stealing. That's why it will go. Now, I'm going to end with this map. You all know about the different drives for independence and secessions and all of that. This is one of the groups. This is their idea of what a independent Cape must look like. I've got three questions. First of all, look at that northern border down, turning into the eastern border. How the fuck are they going to protect that border? That's my first question. And for those of us that are from South Africa, we know what the land looks like there. It's going to be impossible to protect that border. Second question, what are they going to do with the millions and millions of squatters in Cape Town? What? Third question, on the west coast, major oil and gas reserves have been found. Do they for one moment think XXX is going to allow them to walk away with it? Say they succeed in all their assertions, in all the legal needed for seceding, and there's a little bit of a problem. The UN resolution that supports secession states clearly, one language, one culture. So, think about that. But if they go independent tomorrow, the day after tomorrow they will be invaded and taken back and occupied, like they're doing to the Gaza. Plus, it's going to come with a lot of killing. And now we get to that moment for the back page, and yes, there's a few images in here that supporters sent me, but those sensitive souls and those with moral objections, you can now close your eyes, and once the music is over you can open your eyes again. This is for the manna. Enjoy. Wow, great view for a Saturday. Have fun, guys. Braai, don't be heavy on the booze. It's dangerous, it's unhealthy, and it fucks with your mind. But in the end, be careful out there. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share a thing. Thank you for your support.